Good morning, grade 5. Welcome to our English class. So, today we're going to continue our lesson about text types. So, we are done with discussing factual text types, right? So, now we're going to talk about literary texts. Literary texts are texts that are narrative or tell a story and contain elements of fiction. So the six major elements of fiction are character, plot, point of view, setting, style, and theme. So examples of narrative text, they are novel, fable, short stories, and poetry. So let's talk about first novel. Novel is a relatively long work of narrative fiction, normally written in prose form and which is typically published as a book. Fiction generally is a narrative form in any medium consisting of people, events, or places that are imaginary. In other words, not based strictly on history or facts. Examples are Noli Me Tangere by Dr. Jose P. Rizal, Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. Second one is fable. It's a story that features animals, plants, or forces of nature which are given human qualities and illustrates a moral lesson. So, a story in which animals speak and act like people, in which is usually meant to teach a lesson. These are examples: The Clever Monkey and the Foolish Crocodile, Aesop fables. Alright? Next is short stories. Short stories is a short narrative that is written to entertain and bring message or theme to the reader. All stories are based on a struggle, conflict the author tries to resolve in climax. So, a story with a fully developed theme, but significantly shorter and less elaborate than a novel. Examples: A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens and Stone Soup by Anne McGovern. And another is poetry. So, poetry, literary work in which especially intensity is given to the expression of feelings and ideas by the use of distinctive style and rhythm. So, poems collectively or as a genre of literature. So, poetry, literature that evokes a concentrated imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. Examples: Trees by Joyce Kilmer or The Road Not Taken But by Robert Frost. So, what are the purposes of text types? Remember, pi, to persuade, to inform, and to entertain. Okay? So now, let's talk about the nonfiction text structures. So, nonfiction text structures refers to how the information within a written text is organized. Recognizing the underlying structure of text can help students focus attention on key concepts and relationships, anticipate what is to come, and monitor their comprehension as they read. So let's talk about the 5 text structures. First is description. Describes a person, place, animals, event, etc. So this structure presents the causal relationship between a specific event, idea, or concept and the events, ideas, or concept that follows. So take note of the signal words or phrases such as, for example, for instance, most important, in front, beside, near. And what are you going to look for? A list or set of characteristics including specific details. So here is the example of a description paragraph. So description paragraphs are written to put a picture in a reader's mind, okay? So here, the playground of Northside Park is built for fun. There are plenty of ways to get to the top, a ladder or a stairway, and even a rock wall. Once on the top, kids can find plenty of things to play with, like a curved tube, two different steering wheels, and even a tic-tac-toe board. And two curved sliding boards make the perfect way to return to the ground. So as you see here, the descriptive words that they use are plenty of things like a curved tube, different steering wheels, tic-tac-toe board, and two curved sliding boards. Okay, they are used those descriptive words to describe the playground. Next is cause and effect. Seeks to identify what happened and how or why it happened. So signal words are therefore, so, as a result, because, if, then, and what to look for. An event is described in addition to what happened and a result of that event. So let's look at the example. Baby painted turtles spend all winter in their nests. They have special chemicals in their blood that can keep their blood from freezing. As a result, baby painted turtles can survive freezing temperatures. So, what keywords they use in this paragraph? As a result. So, you can see here the cause and the effect. Next is problem and solution. It states the problem and the possible solution. Signal words are propose, conclude, a solution, the reason for the problem. So, what are you going to look for? A problem is described followed by one or more solution. Here is the example. In northern areas, the weather is too cold to grow crops all year long. But some farmers have found a way to grow food all year. A greenhouse is a specialized building that stays warm in the winter. Crops like lettuce and basil can grow well in the greenhouse, even when the weather is cold. So as you see, the problem is weather is too cold in northern areas. So they have the solution, the greenhouse, which has a special building that stays warm in the winter. So you have to find your problem, and it has to have a solution. So next one is compare and contrast. It provides similar and or dissimilar information about two persons, places, events, and animals. So signal words are like, unlike, in contrast. On the other hand, however, both, also, as opposed, rather, same, and while. So what are you going to look for? A likeness and differences are presented and or discuss. So here is the example of compare and contrast. So you can see the two pictures. So the two backyard pools were very different. Yes, they both held water and both could be refreshing on a hot day. But the small inflatable pool was only 6 inches deep. The rectangular pool was much deeper. It was a better place for floating and relaxing. So refreshing on a hot day, both held water, are their similarities. However, the small inflatable pool was only 6 inches deep and the rectangular pool was much deeper. So you can see their contrast. Okay? And the last one is sequence instruction process. Provides steps in performing an action or order of event. So, signal words are first, second, third, after, next, at the same time, finally, then. So, what are you going to look for? A sequence of events or steps in a process is recount. So, last one is the sequence. So, you can see in this paragraph, notice that this paragraph shows how thoughts grow up. What words does the author use to connect the idea? So those are in pink color. They use that to connect the ideas. Like then, next, finally. So sequence sometimes they show in a flow chart, a cycle, or most of the time in giving recipe. So steps by steps or in order. Okay? So thank you once again, grade 5. That's all for today. I see you in our next class. Bye. Stay safe.